Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. I'm Cheryl Jennings. Every week we focus on a different topic affecting people who live and work in the Bay Area. According to the World Institute on Disability, about 1 in 5 Americans has a disability. Today we're going to explore the lives of people living with disabilities here in Northern California. We'll meet people from all walks of life who are here to share their stories. It's a tough economy for all of us right now, but people living with disabilities have a 70% unemployment rate, and finding work recently became even more difficult. Galician found this report from Santa Clara County in April.
It may seem like Lorraine Brown is looking closely at the words she types, but she's not. She's listening as her computer reads them back to her. This grandmother is blind, but she's worked for data entry and technology training companies. Brown says she owes it all to the Sensory Access Foundation.
I wouldn't have gotten any of my jobs.
The state's only job training and placement center for the blind and visually impaired closed Wednesday. The foundation is now selling off its assets to pay for employees' salaries. They're calling it the State of California Put Us Out of Business sale. The executive director says the state cut their funding by 63%. As the state tightened its own budget, training continued. Right now, 70% of the blind population is unemployed. Diana Drews expects that number to rise with the center's closing.
Trying to get them another job is going to be nearly impossible because they don't have us there to help them, to be that conduit that they need, to maybe upgrade their skills that they need.
Which could make competing for a job even harder. The unemployment rate in Santa Clara County is 12.1%, higher than the national average of 9.7%. Those at TransAccess are trying to help. They find jobs for those with all kinds of disabilities, not just the blind.
Unfortunately, the impact is going to be we're not going to always be able to serve them because we're not going to be as qualified as Sensory Access Foundation.
TransAccess is helping financially by buying some of the foundation's furniture. In San Jose, Galician, ABC 7 News.
And joining me now in the studio is Bob Zier. He is an employment service specialist at TransAccess. And Bob, I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
You actually helped create TransAccess a few years ago.
Yes,
many
back
years
in
ago.
96, actually, yes.
Now, why? What was the motive for that?
Well, actually, if you want to call it, our mother organization was called DPI. In the old days, it stood for Disabled Programmers. We actually trained individuals that had disabilities in computer programming. And that was formed by an IBM executive whose son became paralyzed. And he saw the need back in the 80s when the computer industry was blooming. He didn't want to see people with disabilities sit on the sidelines, so to speak. So he formed this small company, which grew to be a multi-million-dollar organization.
My goodness.
Yeah, and then in '96 we split, and they became their own for-profit company, and TransAccess became the non-profit, if you will. But we changed our focus a little bit at that time and delved more into the educational aspect of working with young students, not just adults.
I want to get back to that in just a moment, but we heard your colleague talking about the budget cuts and how they're just affecting everybody. So
Right.
I imagine disabled people are even harder hit.
Oh, tremendously so. I mean, you have to remember, too, that statistically, it's always harder for someone with a disability to find a job than an able-bodied person. Well, now, with the unemployment, 12% or whatever it is in Santa Clara County, and hitting hard in the nation, you can imagine what it's like for someone with a disability trying to find a competitive position.
Well, talk to me now about the young people that you're helping. You've got a great program called School to Future.
School to Future. It's a wonderful program that we have that we share with actually students 15 years of age on up. This program delves into all areas to try to make the person more successful in life. And we start at an early age. So that runs all the way through high school into college, in fact. And the kind of things that we do are things like, you know, a lot of self-esteem and a lot of motivation. We try to instill that in an individual. You know, we work with any type of disability, but the vast majority of people that we work with have a learning disability. That's like dyslexia or dysgraphia, cognitive kind of issues that really make it very difficult in life. Reading, writing, cognitive issues where, you know, how do they put abstract thoughts together on paper.
But you can help them.
We can help them by doing the kind of things that we do, that we offer through our services. And we're actually in the curriculum of many schools where we are a resource to the teachers in special ed.
That's fantastic. All right, we have 10 seconds left, Bob. What do people say when they hear What do you hear when they call for help?
What can you do to help me find a job? So, wow, where do I begin? You know, it depends on the individual, a lot of their experience, their training, a lot of it's motivation, of course, and we try to get over all those barriers, providing the skills and the tools necessary to be successful in competitive employment.
Fantastic. Thank you for what you're doing, Bob.
Thank you.
Great to meet you. And we have to take a break, so stay with us in a moment. We're going to hear how a local blind artist created her own employment opportunity by helping others in the disability community. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. I'm Cheryl Jennings. Today we're talking about people living with disabilities in the Bay Area. There are staggering rates, high rates of unemployment among the disability community, and finding jobs to thrive can be a difficult challenge, but there are success stories all across Northern California. A blind artist in Santa Clara County is not only making a name for herself in the art world, but her business now involves helping other disabled artists succeed as well. Karina Russ brought her story last year.
Keitra Oberlander first picked up a paintbrush at age 40. That's about the same time she became legally blind due to severe myopia and a condition called cone dystrophy.
It's sort of like staring at the sun with Vaseline on your glasses. I have a very soft focus world.
In the world of art, Keitra has an almost impressionistic style. Without a magnifying glass, she can't see details, so her favorite subjects have a softness. Sue Lucas is an avid art collector whose home looks more like a museum. She has 2 of Keitra's pieces.
She's an inspiration because there she is missing one of the senses, and you'd never know it. Yeah, she's quite a woman.
Keitra found her disability made logistics difficult to get around and show her art, but her loss of sight gave her a new vision. She wanted to help other artists with physical disabilities by licensing and promoting their work.
Last year, Keitra launched her business called the Art of Possibility Studios. She's starting out small, representing herself and 4 other artists across the country, also overcoming physical challenges.
Jen Norton is a fellow artist helping Keitra come up with ideas that transform her clients' talents into products that are commercially viable. For instance, Keitra's painting of a dragonfly can become a line of kitchen towels and pot holders, or the abstract designs of George Mendoza, who is also blind, could work as a plate pattern.
People really respond to it well, so I think buyers are really going to connect to that and go, yeah, I want to buy that plate set, not just because I love it and it looks good and it would match my decor, but wow, I'm going to help somebody by buying it.
When a licensed image is used, say Keitra's chocolates on a tapestry, the artist receives between 4 to 8% of the sales price. The merchandise royalty may not seem like a lot, but it can mean the difference between being a starving artist and financial independence. Preston Metcalf is art curator at the Triton Museum of Art in Santa Clara.
A lot of artists are uncomfortable promoting their own work or unfamiliar with the avenues of business. Keitra does it all, and she does it well.
These bookmarks using artwork licensed through Art of Possibility Studios generated the company's first royalty checks earlier this year. It also brought Keitra the joy of being a social entrepreneur, someone who is doing good and making a living.
It felt so right, like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
In an economy where every dollar counts, Keitra Oberlander is hoping more manufacturers and consumers make choices that make a difference. In Santa Clara, Karina Rusk, ABC 7 News.
She is such an inspiration. Well, joining me in the studio right now is Christy Feck. She is the Vice President of Toolworks, which is a job services. It's a nonprofit for people with disabilities based right here in San Francisco. And also joining us, another success story, Chantel Ginocchio, a client with a great personal success story from her time at Toolworks.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here today. First of all, just tell me about Toolworks and what it does. I know it's been around for a long time.
Well, that's right, Cheryl. Toolworks has been in the Bay Area since 1975, and we provide services across the disability spectrum, and we provide a wide range of services. We provide employment supports and also supports for people to access the community and live independently. We serve folks who are deaf and hard of hearing, folks with mental health disabilities, folks with hidden disabilities, physical disabilities, so we run the gamut.
That's interesting because, Chantel, you don't appear to have a disability, but you had some troubles, and you connected with ToolWorks. So tell me how you connected with ToolWorks.
Well, I heard it through a word of mouth through friends at my program where I currently reside, and basically I heard some successful stories, and which inspired me to look into ToolWorks. And once I did, I became very connected with people who could help me and guide me in the direction I need to go.
And did you know where you wanted to go when you started, or did you
I had
find
no
your
idea.
way?
I just found my way. Yeah.
And what is it that you're doing now?
I'm actually working at Wine Valley Catering. I'm a facility coordinator. I coordinate I manage our venues that we have, and I do all kinds of around the board stuff.
So you've come a long way from the distant past.
Yeah, yes, I have, yeah.
All right. Christy, tell me about the training program that you went through.
Well, Chantel came into our 10-week training program, which is based on Treasure Island, and we provide janitorial training to folks who are homeless and otherwise socially disadvantaged. And Chantel likes to say that she went from cleaning the desk that she sat at to sitting behind the desk that she's at now.
Fantastic. And the budget cuts, I imagine, are just devastating for your organization.
They're devastating for all folks with disabilities, yes. We're seeing across-the-board cuts in all of the services that we provide. Fortunately, ToolWorks operates as a social enterprise, and we do have a large janitorial company that we run that employs about 150 folks with disabilities. So that provides us a little stability in terms of our funding, but certainly the cuts are affecting everyone.
Are you looking for other employers to maybe join forces with you?
Oh, we're always looking for other employers to partner with. We've developed a wonderful relationship with Wine Valley Catering and other employers throughout the Bay Area, and we really would like to work with employers to make sure that they're able to retain the employees that they have that have disabilities and introduce them to new employees.
Wonderful. All right, Chantel, tell me how this has changed your life.
Well, I've grown, I've definitely acquired more skills and developed skills that will possibly lead into a future career, and definitely have enjoyed working with ToolWorks along the way to gain what I've gained now. And I couldn't imagine not having gone through ToolWorks. It's helped me along the way so much to better my life.
And where do you see yourself in the future?
I see myself in the future still with Wine Valley Catering. I really like the company, and they've helped me out so much, and I basically see myself with them just in a further up position.
I love it. All right.
Yeah.
15 seconds. Christy, final thoughts for people. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Perseverance is the key. For folks with disabilities, there are waits for services, there are reduced services, but try to access the services that are going to get you through the door. And for businesses, please contact an organization like ToolWorks to partner with to find a way to include people with disabilities in the workforce.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on what you do and your success.
Thank you so much.
All right, we do have to take another break, but when we come back, we're going to learn about a North Bay agency providing support and advocacy for the developmentally disabled. In just a moment. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. I'm Cheryl Jennings. Today we're talking about people living with disabilities in the Bay Area. And joining us now to share their personal stories are Lisa Giraldi, the Executive Director of Pacific Diversified Services, which is also known as PDS, and Sallie Harrison, who's a PDS client. So I want to welcome both of you here today, and I can't wait to hear your stories. But Lisa, first tell me about PDS. It's a little bit different than other agencies.
Yes. PDS is a very small organization. We purposely serve less than 30 clients in Marin County, and we're not site-based. So the clients do not come to us. We don't have a building. Our whole focus is community inclusion and helping our clients become regulars in their own neighborhoods, just to participate in all the activities that anybody else their age would participate in on a daily basis.
All right, now Sallie, that's a lot of stuff going on there for you, and you've been in the program for a year.
Yeah.
Right. So what did you do? How did you get connected, and how's it helped you?
I was at my other program and I didn't really like it, so I
You heard about PDS?
I heard about PDS, and then my social worker called the PDS office, and then I got in.
And you worked really hard for a year?
Yeah.
What did you learn?
I learned how to advocate for myself and how to speak up for myself and how to talk for myself.
And get services that you need?
Yeah.
What kinds of services?
Like take me to the college and take classes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you've been very successful at that.
She has a job.
A job at Woodland Market, and that's in Marin. That's actually by the college. So on Tuesdays I walk from the work to the college.
Wow, you really are successful.
Yeah.
So Lisa, now Sallie is right there in the middle of the community. So this is the whole goal of the program.
Yes, Sallie, like all my clients, like most people, she doesn't want to be sequestered away from society. She wants to be doing anything that any other 35-year-old woman would do. And so she's, exercising at regular, exercise classes. She's going out to lunch. She's enjoying, a latte or a soda with her friends. And she is working and using her money to buy things. She just bought a new camera. So she's become very active in the Marin community.
So not only are you going to school and you're working and you bought yourself a camera, but you also are getting an apartment? Tell me about that.
I don't like it where I'm at, so I'm gonna get an apartment with 2 other roommates with a disability, and they're gonna be there to check up on us and stuff. And
she's going to have staff
to check up on me. And
what do you want other people to know about people with disabilities?
That we don't want to be sheltered. We want to be out in the community, and we don't want to be segregated against. And we just want to have a happy, normal life.
And it sounds like you do have a happy, normal life. At least this is the goal for everybody, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, I'm very proud of Sallie. She's come a long way in a year. She's become someone who knows how to speak up for herself and get what she wants out of life, and it's really exciting.
Well, with success stories like this, obviously budget cuts are hurting, so people in the community, we just have a few seconds left, they can help you.
Yes, please. If anyone in Marin wants to donate to our organization, we're such a small program that it would really make a huge difference, and we are being hit very hard by the budget cuts.
Yeah, in fact, it could be as small as money for bus passes and that sort of thing, right?
Exactly. Just maybe new shoes,
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for being here. And Sallie, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
All right. And we do have to take another break. We will find out in just a moment how sports and life skills are being adapted to make every day easier and fun for everybody. In just a moment.
Thank you.
You did a good Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We've been talking about the challenges and opportunities faced by local people living with disabilities. Enjoying a round of golf has long been denied to some in the disability community, but special carts and special training are helping people with disabilities get out on the greens at a course in San Jose. Carolyn Johnson brought us this story in April.
Whoa! 2 years ago, we watched double amputee Jack Shantin once again play the game he loved, made possible by this special cart.
Well, it was a huge turnaround because when we found the cart down in San Leandro, it just opened up a whole new world for him.
Jack passed away in December. Now his friends and family want to spread the word about these carts and the adaptive golf lessons that make it all possible.
So now if they have a balance problem, they can still sit here and hit a golf shot.
Classes are just getting underway at Rancho del Pueblo in San Jose. Christopher Clark is with Disabled Sports USA.
We want to let them know that their life doesn't end because they suffered a disability. It's an opportunity for them to get out and golf again and actually, feel better and improve their quality of life. Very good. Oh, very good.
Janie Whiteford last swung a golf club 24 years ago before a car crash left her paralyzed.
This would be a really nice
thing to get into, mostly because my husband's a golfer, and it would be something we could do together. So that just was really the major enticement for me.
The chair moves up and down and swivels 360 degrees. Plus, the cart is designed to go right onto the green. A golfer like Janie will never leave the seat.
It will be a little awkward at first, but once you get the swing of things, you're out there, you're enjoying the game.
And that's just what Jack would have wanted.
He's leading from above. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And he would be so happy.
With me in the studio right now are William and Sandra McGee, a married couple who are also co-authors and publishers. And their newest book is right here with me, Learning to Cope with Sight Loss, 6 weeks at a VA Blind Rehabilitation Center. So I'm going to hold that book up for you. I want to thank you both. And I had the pleasure of meeting you earlier when you were going through production with this book.
Yes.
And so, Bill, I would love for you to tell folks about what you have when you lost your sight, what that was like for you.
Okay, well, I have macular degeneration. I lost the sight in my right eye in the mid-90s, became legally blind in '03.
And that totally changed your life, I'm sure.
It really did. The first thing and most important, I could no longer drive.
Which means Sandra drove you, and that was a whole change in dynamics, wasn't it?
Exactly. And the second, of course, I couldn't read the regular print. I did get a CCTV, which enabled me to continue to read and work.
Sandra, what was it like for you as you were watching this happen to your husband?
Well, I think the very first reaction was disbelief. And then, what are the cures? What do we do? What pill do we take? What surgery is there? And the second stage was probably a little bit of anger. And then we realized this wasn't going to go away. And then we started to get serious about making some practical changes.
And is that when, Bill, you went into the VA rehab program?
Well, yeah, we first moved up here from Santa Barbara, so I could be in Tiburon. I can walk everywhere, except doctor's offices. But I mean, I was able to have that independence, so somebody didn't have to drive me to get a haircut.
Right.
Anyhow.
But the VA center.
At the VA center, I learned about that 5 years after I became legally blind. Strangely enough. And the word wasn't that out on it, but it's a fabulous program down in Palo Alto for the western United States here.
And how long was the program?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And it was residency. You were there, you know. We were called students. We weren't veterans, although everybody there was a veteran.
Right. And we want to make sure that we get people to know about what you've done and how helpful the VA Center is. So, Sandra, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Bill kept a journal while he was there, and when he finished his 6 weeks, we turned it into a 36-page booklet with an audio CD recording, and Cheryl, you so graciously agreed to read the female voices on the recording, including my words. And our objective in doing this is basically to inspire and help other people that it may be a little difficult in the beginning, but you can make some changes and life does go on, and Bill has got another book he's working on now.
Bill, we have about 20 seconds left. It's going to go fast. Final thoughts for people with disabilities?
Well, I think that there's a whole lot of people out there, the viewing audience, that perhaps could just get up off the couch and go look for some help, because there's a lot of it out there, a lot of resources.
And you are great success stories. We've got it on our website. We're going to hold up the book because I want people to know about this. This is a fabulous resource. And I want to thank you both for being here and for what you're doing to help.
Thank you, Cheryl.
It's great service.
We appreciate it.
So we're going to, this is it. Learning to Cope with Sight Loss, 6 weeks at a VA Blind Rehabilitation Center. We have information on how you can get a copy of Bill and Sandra's book on our website. And that is it for this edition of Beyond the Headlines. If you're looking for community resources in your neighborhood, just dial 211 for help. Information about all of the people featured on today's show and more is on our website, abc7news.com. Just click on the community page. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Come on, Ray.